Hey everyone, welcome to another video here at noahhammond.com with myself, Noah Hammond. Today's video is critically important, and it's the reason that I put it as just the second video to release on this website, because what you'll learn in this video is going to allow you to powerfully learn everything else I'll teach in any other videos. Because today's video is about how to get rid of your ego, okay? And the trick is, and the thing that's not intuitive for most people, is that the way to get rid of your ego is really not to. Okay, so let's start at the very, very basic though, the very beginning of it all. Because a lot of you might not really have a firm grasp of what the ego is. And I can't go into too much detail on it because that's, I could talk for hours on this. But basically what you need to understand is that ego is the part of your personality that identifies with self. It's the thing that identifies with the here and now. It's the part of your brain that says, I am this. I am a Democrat, or I am a Republican, or I am Irish, or I am a Catholic, or I am, right? And it's that strict, rigid belief system or ego that will always keep you stuck, right? It's like if someone teaches you something new that you haven't heard before and that violates one of your current belief systems, this rigid structure of I am this, or this is the way it is, right? It's not even just about who you are, it's about what reality is, right? This is my belief on how the world looks, right? Ego is what keeps people stuck, and when you hear things that violate these structures, ego is what's going to make you resist these new informations. It's why very simple things that we look at and laugh at now were at one point world changing, like the fact that the world is round. When people first started talking about that or deciding to go explore that, a lot of people were most likely like, no, this is how the world is. The world is flat, right? And that sounds silly to us now, but back then, people's ego structure, the way they identified reality, incorporated the world being flat, or the earth is the center of the universe. Very simple things that we understand are not factual. But back then, growing up with that reality, those people would have been very resistant to the new idea or the different paradigm that maybe the world is round, or maybe the world is not the center of the universe, right? And the same thing goes with people who are very strict with their own personal beliefs about who they are. If someone says flat out, I am a Republican, which means I only believe the things that the Republicans say, or I am a Democrat, which means I only believe the things that it's hurting you, right? Because there's new points of views out there, there's other things. Nobody who's being real with themselves can identify with these large group egoic structures, right? Because everybody has a different opinion, and all different opinions are valid from different points of views. So, without getting into specifics like politics or anything that can just really get people activated, what's important to understand is that your ego is what's going to make you see something on this site, or see an information, or see a new tip or advice or a new point of view, and immediately react negatively to it, and immediately say something like, no, that's wrong, or no, that can't be right, or something like that, right? And the reason this video is so important and learning about this stuff is that will hamper your growth, right? It's like the person who has never made money on the internet before thinks like, oh, that can't work, or like, that doesn't work, right? And the person who's never had an abundant, loving relationship before, they think, oh, that doesn't really happen, that's just in the movies, that ain't right, oh, only rich guys get girls, or only, the most beautiful women can actually get a real good man, right? Because that's your current your current reality, the way you currently identify with the world, right? And all these advices are here to bring you to new awareness and new reality. So, without getting any more into ego, here's how to bypass ego. And it's not intuitive, so pay attention. To get past your ego, what you need to do is not try to get rid of it. okay? When you hear new things, you're gonna hear new advices, new points of views, and they're gonna spark an egoic reaction, right? There's gonna be an immediate feeling inside like, no, that's not right, or no, that doesn't make sense, or this can't work for me, or something along those lines. And what you really wanna look for is simply the fact that it's a reaction, right? Because that's how you can identify ego. And going back to what I was saying, you're not supposed to get rid of ego. You're actually just supposed to recognize it and allow it, acknowledge it, because that's what it's really looking for. It wants to be acknowledged so it feels safe. It's a small part of you that is really tied to fear, right? Because if you learn this new thing or understand this new viewpoint or achieve this new reality, that means your world is changing, right? And change is scary, especially to the ego who identifies with this structure here and now as reality. And it sees this change as its own death, right? So the way to bypass it is not to resist it. It's not when you have that reaction, you don't say, shut up, ego, I want to learn this, right? All you do is acknowledge it, right? So you're going to hear something new and there's going to be a reaction inside you. It's going to be like, no, that can't be right, or no, it won't work for you, right? And all you got to do is go, oh, okay, that was my egoic reaction. Now how do I really feel about the information I'm learning? Let me actually take an awareness to it. Let me weigh the facts, maybe do some additional research on my own. Let me look more into the subject. Let me test it out in my head, bring it into my reality, see if it would work for me, if maybe it would help, right? All those things can be achieved from a non-egoic state. And the way to get yourself there is to just allow your ego to do what it does, which is flare up and react, and acknowledge it, say, oh, that's my ego, okay, cool. He doesn't like it, he doesn't like a lot of things. What does my consciousness think? What does my actual awareness think? Ego will always come from a pre-programmed response, and awareness is always from a higher level of consciousness, and will take your actual omniscient thought, and really it's about being non-attached to any previously conceived structure, right? So if something is brand new, you're looking at it objectively. You're not saying, well, I'm this, so this can't be right, or I'm that, so this can't be right, right? You're just saying, okay, here's the new information. How does that integrate? Okay? So this bypassing of ego, allowing it to react and seeing it and acknowledging it and say, okay, that's what my ego thinks, great. And then now what does my consciousness think? This is what's gonna allow you to really take in the information on this site in a way that can powerfully add to your life. So it's critical to understand, because your ego will flare up. A lot of the things, it doesn't matter how far down the path of self-development you may or may not be, there will be things on this site that will cause an egoic reaction in you. And I don't want you to feel as though I'm saying these things to cause you to take offense. Nothing I'm saying here is to have you take offense. And I want you to just understand that it's this egoic reaction which identifies with your current reality. So allow that to just be acknowledged, and go to the other side of it and use your consciousness to decide if what we're talking about might help you move forward in life. So that's the main advice I'm trying to give to you guys today. If you have any questions about it, feel free to give me an email at noah@noahhammond.com. And please like the video below, share it with your friends. If you think this could help somebody, definitely make sure to share it. And if you haven't gotten your hands on my 10 tips seminar yet, grab that. It's 10 tips for unlocking your personal power, and it's available for free download on my website. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you soon with the next video.